Do you really need to use in-ear monitoring for bar gigs? Hey guys, my name's Dan. I'm a full-time musician based here in the UK, and today we're going to be talking about using in-ear monitoring for bar gigs.
What?
Before we get started, if you're new here, please like and subscribe this video. We're on the road to 100 subs, so if you do like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. I post videos every Friday, so if you're new here, then please stick around and see what we got going on. So why am I switching to in-ear monitoring? If you watched my last video, I lost 400 pounds of work this week. And you'll know I've been struggling with my vocal health, and it's actually been costing me money and work because I'm having to cancel gigs. I worked out this was caused by a number of factors, one of which was because I was pushing my voice too hard to hear myself over the crowd. So over the weekend, I bought this. I've never done this before. Over the weekend, I bought this. This is the X5 U4 wireless in-ear monitoring system, which I'll be pairing with my very old Shure SE215 headphones. As always, I like to test these products in real life settings for you guys. So for me, I know if they work, and for you guys, you'll know that I'm not just reviewing these sat at home. You'll actually see me use them in a real life setting, and then you can know for sure that it'll be something that you could use yourself. So what I've done is I've vlogged my last weekend of work, which contained 4 gigs in 3 days, with the middle day being a 2 gig day that contained 4 sets worth of singing. Last week, I lost my voice 3 sets into a 5-set day in the middle of a 3-day set of gigs. So I thought this was a perfect testing ground to see if these are actually gonna make a difference in my vocal health, my ability to retain my singing voice and not do damage, and then hopefully solve that problem that I'm having. Before we get into that, I'm gonna quickly explain how I use this product over the weekend. So if you do choose to buy them, then you'll know at least how I use them, and then maybe you can just try and use it that way yourself, and you'll know what to do. Just a quick disclaimer, the X5 U4 is a wireless in-ear monitoring system. As you can see here, it does not come with headphones. I'm using my Shure SE215s because I already owned them from ages ago. If you are looking to buy this, then remember that you need to have headphones or buy headphones separately to use with this. Just don't buy this thinking it's all there, because it's not gonna be. Okay, so here I am on the left. All of my equipment, my mic, my guitar, my kick, plugs into the venue's mixing desk, which is in the middle of the image. The signal I'm sending to the desk then gets sent to the front of house speakers on the right for the audience to hear. Normally, for me to hear myself, I'd have a monitor on stage that connects to an auxiliary input or aux on the desk. With the X5, what you do is you plug your receiver into that auxiliary input on the desk, and then your wireless pack connects to that receiver so you can monitor yourself. See what I did there? Through your headphones. You need to make sure that your pack and receiver are set to the same channel, otherwise you won't hear yourself. Let's get to the vlog, shall we?
Swing and a miss.
Sorry that I couldn't film anything beforehand. I got a call last minute to be like, can you come earlier and play from like 8:30 till 10 instead of 10 till 12? And I said yes, and then this venue's 20 minutes from my house, and I got stuck on a 20-minute journey. It took me an hour and a half to get here because of traffic.
We don't care.
But let's talk the X5 U4 and my Shure SE215s. And this isn't the first time I've used them, but the last time I used in-ears, I was a guitar player sessioning for an artist. So the bulk of my sound in my ears that I needed was guitar, and the amp was still on stage. This was long before modelers had kind of taken over the world. So even if my ear mix didn't sound very good, it didn't really matter because I had what I needed to hear like right next to me. So I think that had really clouded my view on how amazing and useful in-ears are, because I can't believe the difference that made. Like it was just mind-blowing, the difference, to be honest with you. I not only was it easier for me to hear myself as it obviously would be, much easier to hear where I was doing damage to my voice before, where I was pushing my voice, which I thought was a lot less of the set was doing the damage than actually was happening. Once I could hear myself, I was like, oh yeah, normally I'd have to push to hear myself sing this note, and now that I don't, I'm not doing that. And that happened 20, 30 times in that gig, and it's like, well, of course I'm blowing my voice out then if I'm having to shout over myself and just a shout over the crowd to hear myself. Whereas with this, once I was dialed in, I was zoned out. Although I will say, if I can give any advice to someone, what you don't want to do is go back on for your second set and you look at the crowd like, why is no one like singing along and joining in? And then you realize, well, I didn't even realize it. Shout out to my mate Jason Walsh. He realized that I turned myself down so that I was coming through my ears.
What did he say?
But not through the monitors. One thing I definitely have to address though from using in-ears was, my God, have I been falling asleep at the wheel for how badly I've been playing acoustic guitar. Like because I could hear it so much more clearly in my ears, I was starting songs and I was like, why does this sound a mess? Like the kick and the vocal sound right, but the guitar part is all over the show. I must have played this 100 times. Yeah, I played it 100 times like ass. basically, as it turns out. So, you know, that's something to work on, which is cool. But yeah, I was pretty gobsmacked. You know, I've been playing guitar
84 years.
you know, I knew my voice was something I had to worry about with it, maybe not sounding too good because it was sore, but I did not expect something that I've been doing since I was literally like a child playing, to hear myself playing so badly. I know that DI'd acoustic is not a good sound, but it wasn't the DI that was the problem. It was me playing like fucking shit that was the problem. So I've got something to work on there. All right, let's get home.
This smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a heat in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. There's a touch in your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall. Are you saying this when you say nothing at all?
Okay, so gig day 2. This is kind of the big one really, because after last week on Friday, I did 5 sets and, you know, halfway through that day, I could tell my voice was starting to get ruined. Today I have 2 gigs. I have one now from 5 till 7. I've got one in York from 8 till 10. So that's 4 sets. So it's a little bit less, a little bit easier. I have steamed, I've warmed up on the way here. The in-ears made a massive difference last night. My voice feels really good today. Like I was worried when I was warming up, it felt a little bit sore, but now I've warmed up a little bit, my voice feels good. My lower register feels really nice, which is kind of the big usual indicator of when I'm gonna have vocal problems, is if I can't hit lower notes. So yeah, let's get in there, get set up and see how we get on.
Well, I love you. I love to feel you. Spend all day out on this lake, and it's all I catch. The day she met me at the door, and I would have to choose. If I had that fishing hole to do, she'd be packing all the things that she don't quite do. Well, I'm gonna miss her.
Right, okay, super quick one, because the drive to York was absolutely mental. It just took like twice the length I thought it was going to. Gig 1, the in-ears still working like a treat. My voice feels so much better. The only problem with the gig today was, or gig 1, sorry, was the desk had no reverb. So having my guitar and my vocal and my kick just bone dry in my ear was intimate, I guess, to say the least, and also made me overthink it a little bit, because yeah, your voice just sounds not good when it's bone dry in your ears. It's a bit like it's like someone whispering in your ear, but it's you. It's not very nice. Anyway, I've got another gig now here in York, 8 till 10. We'll see how we get on, but so far the X5 and the Shure 215s making life so much easier. Not having to worry about a monitor or anything feeding back on stage has been life-changing already, and I can feel the difference in my voice. But let's see how I hold up in this gig, because this is the gig where I normally feel the problems, or I've been feeling the problems the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how we get on.
Chance.
Okay, I wanted to do the cool driving as I talk review for my sort of last clip of the day, but I'm a new driver and I couldn't get the time right, and I just felt irresponsible, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it now while I'm sat in a car park waiting for the food I just ordered to be made. What do I like? The difference of just being able to hear yourself like so directly in your ears, like it probably goes without saying, but for anybody who was unsure of like how much of an impact it will make, it's night and day. Like, you know, I know my voice probably sounds a little bit sore now compared to at the start of the day, but compared to where I was a week ago, where like, you know, literally this time last Friday, I got to gig 2 where I had 3 sets to do, and after the first set, my voice was absolutely fried, whereas today, like, I could have played another set if I needed to. I didn't want to, and that's something as I go forward is that I'm going to be doing less. But you know, to be 1 week removed and to, you know, I've changed one thing, which is, you know, be able to monitor myself better, and to have that much of a difference, I think is, you know, kind of speaks for itself, really. I'm gonna have to do something about just how dry everything is. I think since stopping using my quad cortex, not because I didn't like it, but for fear of it just getting damaged, like I just had some very close calls with it that I'm just not taking that risk again. I'm gonna need to build like a little mini board with like, I'm thinking like a HX Stomp for my acoustic, and then like a TC Helicon or something like that, just to give my vocal a little bit of reverb, just because it sounds so dry in my ears and presumably out front, which is dead. But yeah, overall very, very happy. I haven't had any frequency drops with it being sort of a wireless receiver and stuff like that. It's worked absolutely fine the entire time. My Taylor's got this kind of like low, like high pitched ringing, which is coming through the ears. I don't know if that's just like a frequency thing or a plug thing or something, but that's been quite annoying. That's probably the only drawback. But yeah, overall very, very happy. Town was just a bit dead today. I don't know if that's just post bank holiday blues, or maybe because the weather's so nice that a lot of people have opted to stay home and have like a barbecue. I don't know. I don't care. That's not really for me to care. I sang the songs, and I sang them in a way that makes my voice feel healthy, and I feel much better. So I'm gonna go get my food, I'll go home to my girlfriend and chill out, because I've got one more gig left for the week. Gig number 3, last one of the week. I've got 3 sets today. It's 9 till 12, so it's a big deal. Even though it's only one gig, it's still a lot of singing. It's a busy time. I've just come from watching the Champions League final. Bad luck Arsenal. Gabriel, terrible penalty there at the end. Also, while I'm on that note, obviously because I'm driving, I've not been drinking, which is a difficult thing to do when going to watch a football game. But I've been on the alcohol-free beers. Why are they all so bad? The Heineken one was like one of the worst things I've ever drank. I thought I didn't like the taste of alcohol, but it turns out if that's what the beer tastes like without it, I really like the taste of alcohol. So that was pretty disappointing. But yeah, what am I thinking about today? I'm thinking about whether the charge on the in-ear monitoring is going to last long enough, because I didn't have a chance to charge it last night or today because I've been out all day. I'm thinking about whether I can improve knowing what the balance and the EQ of the stuff is going to sound like before we send it out to front of house. That's been something I've been working on each time I've used them today. Making sure I set the levels in my ears as they were yesterday, because that was the first time it felt really balanced. And yeah, just hopefully going to be another gig, 3 sets. It's going to be tiring, but hopefully it's still just good enough to my voice is good enough to just hold on, and the in-ears just keep doing what they've been doing so far, which is just giving me the opportunity to not over-sing, not overplay, not shout. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm going to film this gig, so there'll be some shots from this. I didn't get a chance to film any of them yesterday because I didn't bring my stand with me. Hopefully we'll be able to get some clips, and we'll see how we get on from there. No. Wait. Oh my God. That was a mess. That was a mess. I did not get to film that gig because it was absolutely heaving. And, I was testing my in-ears and just getting stuff working, but it was one of those environments where I was just trying to set up and get ready because it was just packed. And sometimes you just kind of have to lock in and, think about the bigger picture. I'm getting paid to work. I'm not getting paid to make YouTube, right? So I just didn't have time. And I kept thinking, I didn't get it for this first set. I'll do it for the next set. I'll do it for the next set. But the first set went fine, but like midway through the set, my in-ears, because I fucking forgot to charge them, started dying. So if anybody's wondering, what's the battery life on the X5? I can tell you exactly how it is by the set. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets, 6 45s. That's how long it is before they fully die. And then in the second set, to add on to the fact that my in-ears were dying and I've now not got any monitoring, I break a string, first song, and then the DJ, who's a good mate of mine, did a hilarious thing while I'm restringing it, put on the Benny Hill theme, absolutely hilarious, but I was not ready. Like, all my stuff was in different places, so it just made me look very panicked, and he had to very, embarrassingly be like, I'm just gonna change that to a different song. He's clearly rattled. Funny, but also embarrassing. And then on top of that, my kick pedal does this thing where it's very hard to predict because it doesn't happen a lot. It happens 1 in every 30 gigs where when you stomp on it, it does respond, but all of a sudden it doesn't respond every time, and it's not a sensory thing, it's not the button thing, you just have to turn it off, turn it back on again. And that happened in the same set. So set 2 was a logistical nightmare. Third set was fine. I just had to do it without monitoring. So that obviously is not great for my voice. The one thing I will say, speaking positively about it, and I have to say, I feel like every time I do a vlog, the gigs just seem to go mental. So hopefully it's entertaining for you guys. And I wish I could have caught some of the stuff that happened in that gig because it was absolutely wild. Actually, as well, speaking of wild things, I have a little cloth, as you can see. I'm very hot, right? I run very hot on the stage. It's absolutely sweltering in that bar. I've got an industrial fan blowing air into my face and I'm still sweating buckets. That's how hot it is in there. So I have a little cloth to dab my head down, right? I have it on a little table next to my microphone. Some psychopath walks up to the front of the crowd, sees I have a little rag. He's also hot. And he grabs the rag and goes like that, and then puts it back. And I literally looked at him, I was like, are you insane? What, A, that's disgusting for me, but B, I'm covered in sweat and you can see that. And you were like, no, I'm just so hot, I need to dab my forehead with this guy's this complete stranger's dirty rag. What a nutcase. That's just absolutely insane. But let's talk about the good things about the X5, okay? In-ear monitoring, like you can hear my voice. I just did a whole set with no monitoring, right? So I have to sing over the crowd. I have to guess what I sound like with the PA in front of me and I can't really hear it. And my voice still is fine. It's still so much better than it would have been had I done 3 sets with bad monitoring. So I have to give it credit. In-ear monitoring is well worth the money at any level. I just assumed at this level, I was just thinking it might have been overkill. And like, you know, it's a pub gig, it's a bar gig. Like, do I really need in-ear monitoring? Yes, you do, because you can hear yourself so much better. You can control your voice so much better. You're drowning out the crowd more, so you don't have to worry about people shouting at you, shouting at requests, trying to rattle you, because people do that, don't they? So yeah, very, very worth the money. And my voice feels so much better right now. I feel great. And despite that gig being, in some parts, like the gig from hell, come out of that feeling very, very good. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna eat some food, go home and go to bed, man. What a weekend, Jesus.
Okay, review time. First and foremost, how did using in-ear monitorings affect my voice, my vocal health, my ability to sing safely and sustain my voice for a longer period of time? To be honest, it was night and day, the difference. I can't really stress that enough. As it was shown throughout the vlogs, and hopefully it translated as well as I think it did, not only was it easier for me to sing, it was easier for me to sing better, it was easier for me to sing more safely, and it meant that actually, for all my worries of, oh, maybe I can't do as many sets as I've been doing in the past, it was really reassuring to feel and hear 1 week on from losing my voice midway through a week's worth of gigs, I was able to not only get through this week's worth of gigs easily, I actually felt like there was more in the tank for me to sing, which means that, you know, based on my plan that I've mentioned in previous videos about wanting to gig on more days per week but less per day, I don't have to really worry about whether that's going to impact my voice or not, because the in-ear monitoring has made it so much easier for me to sing that I know that's going to work when those gigs do eventually come around. So that was a huge plus. It ticks that box with ease. What do I like about the X5 U4? It's easy to set up out of the box. There really isn't that many parts to it. It's just plug one side in, clip the other to your belt, headphones plug into that, link the two together, and you're away. All you really have to know is how to set it up with the desk in the venue that you'll be gigging at, but hopefully the diagram that I put at the beginning of this video makes that easier for you. Obviously, it's a wireless in-ear pack, but believe me, the fact that it is wireless is so good. I've already got way too many wires to have to worry about and to have backups for, so the fact that this is just cable-free and it's less stuff to get tangled in your case and stuff like that, it really does make a massive difference. So I really like the fact that it is a wireless pack. To be honest, the only issue I had, it felt quiet in my ears, but it was also distorting very, very hard. So, which was quite a weird thing to experience. That it's like, you would think that if it was distorting, it would also be insanely loud, but it wasn't. Now, I don't know this for certain yet. I need to test this one more time, but I was speaking to a friend of mine, shout out Ben Beheshti if you're watching, about why that was happening, because he's a sound engineer and he would know more about that. And he said that actually, based on what he'd researched into it, that even though the setting on the receiver, you've got aux and line where you want to use it, and obviously, as I explained, I was using it in the aux input of the desk, so I was like, well, it must be aux. Actually, what I should have been doing is setting it to line, because the aux input adds a 14 dB boost, which you would think, again, should make it louder, but actually what it was doing was compressing it and gaining it too hard, so that when I added gain to my individual instruments on the desk and turned the aux input up in my ears, it was actually distorting. So that was a little bit confusing. Would I recommend this product? Yes, I would. It's as simple as that. It's been a game changer immediately. As I said, I'm not someone who has a lot of experience using in-ear monitoring, setting them up. This thing was simple to use, it worked effectively, and it's made a massive difference. So much so, that actually, on top of the fact that I got through my gigs with ease, I actually picked up another gig on Monday. Is there a better advert for in-ear monitoring than that? 1 week ago, I can't get through my gigs without losing my voice pretty much instantly. And this week, not only did I get through my gigs, I also had the vocal strength and energy to pick up another gig and make even more money, which is the goal. This made it much easier to do that. Fully recommend it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe on this video. I post videos every Friday. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions about it, if you want any advice on stuff that you should get for yourselves, things that I've missed about the products I've used, maybe I'm not using it correctly and you can give me some help. I'd love to hear from you. So please comment down below. Let me know anything. I just want to hear about it. Like the video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want a career in music, just go for it. Why not? All right, take care.